Hello guys, welcome to another video. So it's almost a new week and I want to give you go through few charts, probably two or three, starting with the one that we went over on Tuesday, I think, where I've been calling you to be buying Nasdaq. Because remember when the analysis that I made there was that the price was still around here, was here. For those that watched the video where I said if the price was to dip then go towards that point, you can start buying, because of what? All the time frames were pointing to the upside. But recently we had this, which is very interesting. So make sure that you watch until the end so that I can show you how to analyze what's going on here and what's most likely to happen from here. So let's get started. So because this is the same chart that you looked at on Tuesday, I'm not going to go through all the time frames. So we can start from daily because that's where the changes are. On weekly, the only thing that we can comment on is that the week has ended, and what we are seeing is a candlestick that looks like this, which is a bearish pin bar. Very interesting. Keep this in mind, and let's see how the new week is gonna play out. If it happens that we come lower than this, that would be very, very interesting. But let's see what's gonna happen. So the only thing that we can take from weekly is that this week we played with a bearish pin bar on the weekly time frame, and on daily this is what we are having. The price pushed to the downside strongly, giving us what we call bearish engulfing, which is a pattern where you have the bearish candlestick engulfing the previous ones, and that's where it says that the bears are very strong. And now when you're trying to link this back to what you saw on the weekly, they agree with each other that we could be going for a deeper pullback. But at the same time, the price came back to this tiny little candlestick here, the tiny little candlestick there, which is when it was formed, we had a rally, the market paused there, and then we had another rally, which is basically a rally, the market paused here, and then it gave us another rally. So that can also play as a support. So when you're having the market playing with the rally base and a rally, you can take that as a support. And then we had another one there. But those that took the mentorship, they would know that when you're trying to assess and decide on which one you can pay most attention to, it will be this one over that one. Because of what? One of the reasons is that the way this one came back, the way the zone was formed, and then we went up and we quickly came back, that's not a good sign. And then this one also, the type of a candlestick that we have there, but it's debatable because this is a very tiny candlestick, and also where this is located, because remember we are at the all-time highs, and then we had this as a high, the price came back, and then this is located exactly around there, which is why it weighs more than the one that was formed above it. So now it's a question of whether the bears from the weekly chart and from this bearish engulfing that we are seeing here are going to be strong enough to push the price down to at least somewhere around there before they go for the next impulsive move to the upside. We are yet to see that. But at the same time, we can't rule that one out because of what we're seeing there. But at the same time, we are around here. And like I said, this is the old resistance. And now we have this support around there. And the price is retesting that. So where we are currently, the price can go either way. So let's check what we have on H4. So H4 looks something like this, right? So immediately the price dipped into that support on daily. It started to, you can see the candlesticks were very aggressive when you push into the downside, but immediately we went into that zone. We started seeing candlesticks like this. You can see the bears were no longer as strong as they were when they started with their their move to the downside, and then now the price tried to go up, right? At the same, remember the support here is holding, but if you go back, because I know this might be different depending on which broker one is using. If we try and put a horizontal line there, we can see that it looks like this candlestick, I'm not sure if you can see that, this candlestick went lower than the very same support that we are marking there, which means it could be that the bears are opening a room here to try and push the price all the way to the downside. Because of what? That will also be going in line with what we saw on weekly, and also the bearish engulfing that we are seeing here. So that's why I'm saying we can't rule the bears out because of what they're seeing here. Just because the bulls are trying to push up does not mean that the bears are completely out. So you need to, that's why I said this has a chance to go either direction. And then now on H4, if we go back to the H4, this is what we're having. The only thing that the only point that I want to make here is that you need to keep in mind that, okay, here you can also put a bullish trend line like this and say that the price is at a support and the price is at a bullish trend line, so the price can hold. But you can't ignore what the sellers did there, and you can't ignore what the sellers are saying on weekly. But because the bullish structures are still holding, you're more than welcome to keep on buying. But don't look past this guy that I marked there, because this is the only one. This is the guy that pushed the price all the way down, breaking the previous area of support there and breaking the trend line. So this guy accomplished a lot. So that's why if you're holding a buy trade, if you manage to get a buy trade from somewhere around there, you cannot look past this. The only way you can do that is if you have multiple trades, and then when the price gets there, you can cut some of the trades out and then leave one running, because of what you'll be leaning towards that bullish trend line that you have on daily, and the support that you have there, that day you will try and fight and continue with your trend. So you can play it like that. So maybe let's check H1 and see if there's anything interesting here. Based, so you can see the sellers pushed all the way down, and then here we stayed within this range for 10 or to 15 hours within this range, and then the bulls won and pushed the price up. But when they did that, we can try and look back. There's nothing that they broke here, which is why I'm saying yes, the bulls seems like they pushed all the way up like that, reacting to the support and the bullish trend line that we saw on daily. But they, on these time frames, it's not enough. They're just pushing, but it's not enough. So which is why we can't say that when the price gets here, we are going to say that they broke the range, now they went up and they're coming back, and then we can take a buy trade there. On this time frame, it's very risky to do that, because of what this could be, this sudden movement, it could be going together with what we saw on weekly and also on daily, where the price has that bearish engulfing and also bearish pin bar on weekly. So this can easily be taken out. So you need to be careful. That's why I said we can go either way, but you need to make sure that where you are taking your buy trade or your sell trade, you need to have some proper confirmation there. Now let's see, maybe if the price, let's say it comes back and then it's still around where it started, and then maybe let's say it gives you bullish pin bars like this, one can say, okay, maybe let me take a buy trade here. And then their reasoning would be that because the price is located at a daily support and a daily bullish trend line, so that's why they want to take a buy trade. And also they're taking it because of what they're having bullish pin bars here. So that's, maybe that could be the reason why they're taking it. So that's why I'm saying yes, you need to be located somewhere before you can take a buy trade here, and you need to have some nice confirmation to go with that. And if you manage to get that confirmation here to take your buy trade, you will be targeting that. Don't look past this as yet, because this guy accomplished something. I doubt the price will just go there and demolish it like it doesn't exist. So that's why you need to be targeting that, so that just in case the price holds there and then it comes back again, because it's possible that it can do that, judging from how this level was formed. So the conclusion here would be that this price currently on Nasdaq, it can go either way. There are signs that are pushing to that are pointing to the upside, things like your bullish trend line on daily, your support on daily, but also there are signs to the downside, that very same bearish engulfing that we saw on daily, and also the bearish pin bar on weekly. So that's why I said you can look for buy trades and sell trades, but the most important thing is to make sure that you are located somewhere, and also you get confirmation before you can do that, at least until this zone is taken out, or until that bullish trend line on daily is taken out. Then that's when you can say that, okay, it looks like we have opened more space to go in this direction or in that direction for a couple more days. But for now, look for that buy trade, sell trade, but with confirmation. So I think that's all that I can say with Nasdaq. That's what you can expect from this one. So maybe let's try and find something else. So if you are on this one also, you can see clearly that the bullish trend line has been removed, the support has been removed, and then maybe something like that. But like I said, every trade that you are taking on Nasdaq currently. If you're looking for something right now, it needs to be with confirmation and you need to be located. So if I give example with this one, location would be that you're located at this strong resistance that push the price beyond the trend line and the support. So the location you can tick, and then when the price gets there and then maybe it gives you a bearish pin bar, you can say this confirmation tick. That's how you can do it. So without location and confirmation, it's very tricky and risky to take trades on this one. So I think that's all that I can say with regards to Nasdaq. So let's try and find something else that we can also go through quickly, and then I think 2 charts should be enough. Then we will just check an update maybe on Tuesday and then add another chart. Then we check an update again and update again on Thursday. Then we continue like that. All right, the second thing that we can look at is VIX75 for those that have the account this side. So this is the structure that we are having here. So we can see that the price was going all the way up and then it stayed there, and then now we're going to the downside. So but remember, nothing goes up forever, nothing goes down forever. At some point we have to have a pullback or a trend reversal. So what we are seeing here is that the price is going, has been going to the downside for quite some time. And if you've been on this channel, you'll remember that sometime, I think towards the end of last year, yeah, I think somewhere there, we were talking about this level here when the price was still going around there, to say that yes, it looks like there's still more space to go to the downside because of what, if I can bring this one up and show you why we were saying that the price can go to the downside, which is something that I even commented on Nasdaq just now, where I said that yes, the price was going to the downside. I want you to look at this. It was going to the downside, and this was the support, right? The support ending at this horizontal line that I marked there. But you can't ignore what the price did there. As much as you can see the price coming here and then tapping and then going up, but you can't ignore what they did here. This is, you can see that clearly the price went to the other side. So this could open a very bigger space for them to still continue going to the downside, the bears. So which is why the price just went up, and even when it went up, it was just retesting the nearest resistance, and then it continued with the bearish trend. So that's why I said that on Nasdaq, there's something like this that could be forming. You cannot ignore when you see that, yes, you marked a support nicely, but if the price bridges that, if the price breaks that, even if it's just by a couple of pips, but that's something. Look into that. Look into that. So now this is what we have. We can see clearly that we are in a downtrend on monthly, but this second horizontal line that we are having there, which is, if you can look, there's a red candlestick there. I'm not sure that if you can see it. So that's the support. That's the support that I think the price is going to start building up from there. It's going to start going up from there. So anywhere around that 117,390, anywhere from around there, the price is going to start to push up, maybe to at least around there, if it wants to continue with the trend to the downside, or it's going to push up and then it breaks this resistance and maybe even the bearish trend line. Then we start to buy from there. Then maybe we can have a trend like this coming back again for a year or two, because remember, this happened for a very long time. Then we're coming back for a very long time. Then we could be going up again. But where are we most likely to start seeing the price going up? It's at that second horizontal line. So there's nothing much to say here. You can just put a bearish trend line. We are bearish, but this is the support that's going to be very crucial in trying to block the price from continuing with the trend. Then that's where we're most likely going to start to see the price going up from there. Now let's see what we have on weekly. So weekly also, obviously, it's also bearish, and we don't have much to comment on in terms of what's currently happening, because of what we are still pushing to the downside. And if you wanted to mark structures, you will have the same thing that we had on monthly, which is a bearish trend line, and then maybe you can have this as your resistance. And currently we're going to the downside, but you don't have you don't have opportunities to sell. You can keep on selling, but once the price taps into that horizontal line there, there's still a very big space for us to get there. You can get trades there, but once the price gets there, you need to stop with selling and then look towards buying. But at the same time, when the price gets there, maybe let's say on your H1, you'll have stuff like this. You just mark like this, and then see how the price reacts there. If you get a bullish pin bar, you can take when the price breaks the range of that pin bar, and then you're targeting the trend line. If the trend line is taken out, the pullback is what you are going to trade, and then trade to the upside. But for now, this space is big enough for you to continue with this current bearish trend to the downside. But I'm anticipating that once the price gets around that 117,390, we will see the price starting to pull back up and most probably take out this trend line as well. So let's see what we have on daily. The daily trend line, the daily trend or chart looks like this. So we can see the very same thing, the price pushing to the downside, trying to go up, downside, try to go up, but it only went until the resistance there, and then it pushed to the downside again. So if you're trading on daily, the price is pushing to the downside, and you can only take your sell trades from here. This is the new resistance that you are having, this one here, because it's the one that just recently pushed to the downside, and then your trend line is there. So if the price was to give you a pullback towards the trend line, you can keep on selling, because I remember I said the best looks like they still have a chance to maybe just play around like that until they get to that horizontal trend line. That's when we will start to take long-term buy trades from there. So still same thing happening here, bearish trend. You just can you can look for those selling trades until that horizontal line that I marked there. So let's see if there's anything interesting on H4. H4 looks like this, right? We are also going to the downside, and we can also mark the same trend line that we are having. We can put it there and say this is my trend line, and the price seems like okay, the resistance is there, but on this one is going to be tricky because of what? If the price was to go towards this resistance on H4, if you are trading H4, unfortunately it looks like it's going to have to break the trend line first. It's going to have to break the trend line first before you can go to the resistance. So it means if you wanted to take sell trades there, you'll have to get confirmation, and hopefully that will also be okay. It's going to be very far from what we're having. This one is going to be very far from that. So selling from there would be very tricky on H4 at the moment. So let's see what we're having on H1. But the thing that you need to keep in mind now is that we are in a very strong bearish trend. And then according to H4, if H4, I'm giving you what's most, what could happen. So if H4 breaks this trend line, right, you will say the resistance is there. If H4 breaks the trend line, maybe let's say place around there, then maybe you get with confirmation, you're trying to take a short-term trade to the upside. That trade has to end there, right? And then see how the price reacts there. If the price breaks this, it means it will be most likely going towards that daily resistance that I showed you and said that if you want to take a trade on daily, it has to be from around there. So maybe the price will go there before it pushes all the way down, and maybe that push will be strong enough to take the price to where I said. If the price gets there, that's when we'll be starting to search for long-term trades to the upside. So let's check our H1. H1 looks like this, right? So keep in mind what you saw on H4, and also on H4 there's what we're calling the bullish pin bar. That's also the sign to say, okay, it looks like there's sudden momentum, or sudden momentum of the bulls. Bulls looks like they're suddenly becoming aggressive because they're forming this bullish pin bar. Okay, fine, keep that in mind. Now we are here on H1. H1 looks like this, right? And the recent swing high that we have, it's this one here. All right, so which means that if, let's say, you wanted to take a buy trade, because remember it's going to be very tricky given the fact that the time frames, the bigger ones, are all pointing to the downside. So if you want to take that short-term trade to the upside towards the H4 resistance, which is this one, remember, towards this guy, this one here, or towards the daily one that we have up there, you're going to have to be very careful with that. You're going to have to make sure that there's a strong confirmation that you're getting, and also don't over risk, because the sellers can still come back and continue with their mandate, which is the bearish trend. So here you just have to do it like this. This is the recent swing high, right? Because I'm talking about this and then that, and then coming down like that. That's the recent swing high. So remember, for as long as the price does not break a swing high, all right, it doesn't break a lower high, it will never go to the upside. It means the trend will keep on going to the downside, because the sellers, when they're going down, they're forming structures like this. So for as long as the price does not break this guy, for as long as the price does not go above this, when the price does that, that's when you can say, okay, the dynamics are changing, because for us to keep on going to the downside, we need to maintain that lower low, lower high. So if this happens, this could mean that the sellers wants to start with the pullback to the upside, or a short-term trend to the upside. So which is why I'm marking this one here. I say focus on this, to say that should the price break and go to the upside, you will say that even the bearish trend on this one will probably be somewhere around there, and then you can see the swing high has been taken out, or the resistance has been taken out, if you can keep it like that. And then you can say, if you get a pullback, then you can take it from the support that push the price up and break the trend line and break the resistance, and then you'll be taking it from there. But currently, this looks like it's holding. I'm not sure if you can see that. Look, this resistance looks like it's holding because the price just pushed up there and then nice pulling back. So you cannot take a buy trade as yet. You have to wait for the price to at least move past this point. So if the price moves past that, then that will open more space for you to trade and target at least the H4 resistance. So because currently it looks like we're just playing outside the bearish trend line, but this can be fixed. The sellers can fix this if they are strong enough from their resistance. They can fix it by just pushing the price back below this point. Then the trend line will change, and then it has to go to that point. We will draw it like this. We'll draw it like that if the sellers start to push the price below that, so they can fix it. So that's why I'm saying the bulls, for them to convince us, they need to at least remove this high. So that's the only way you can take a trade to the upside and hold it for a couple of hours, at least towards that H4 resistance, because currently this does not look good for you. If you want to take a buy trade, it will be a rushed one, right? And it's the same thing here. If you're trading M15, remember, the lower you go, the more you'll have a lot of candlesticks, and it can be a bit confusing. So on M15 we have this, and the price was going to the downside, and we have this there, and then it was going to the downside. And if you're trading on this, you will know that the price moved down and then gave you a chance to take a sell there, then maybe another one there, and then another one there, then push into the downside. Eventually the price moved to the other side of the trend line, and also the other side of in terms of the lower lows and lower highs, because remember I said if you're going to the downside, you have to maintain this. The day the price breaks this guy, we are going to say something is happening here. It's the same thing here. The day the price moved like that above this point, that's when we're like, there's something else. We're no longer pushing to the downside. And when it did that, it also moved above the trend line. That's why I'm saying an M15, you can take your chances and say from around this pause, or around this rally base, this base here that's formed by the rally, I can look for buy trades. But you need to be careful with that, because remember, it's that H1 resistance that the price is bouncing from. So you need to be careful with that. If you really feel like a pullback is what we need currently, then you can take your chances there and hope that the price will do what we're saying. Hopefully it will do if it wants to give you a chance to buy, if you want to take, because that pause is somewhere around there, somewhere around here, I think. So if the price was to come to that pause and then you're getting a bullish pin bar, for instance, then you can take your trade and hope that the price will push up like that. Because remember, the sellers on this time frame, either, even though they are coming from their resistance, they are not the strongest, because they couldn't defend their trend line. The trend line has been taken out. So that's why you are not completely wrong in trying to say that because of the structure that I'm having on my M15, I want to take chances maybe from around here or from around there. I want to take chances and try and push the price to the upside if I get confirmation. So that's how you can play this one. All right, I think I'm going to end it there. So I just gave you something to look at on Nasdaq and also on VIX75 for those that have derivative accounts. And then, yeah, I hope this you will be able to catch something from this setup that I just made. And then I'll see you guys again on Tuesday, when we're going to just go through this and see how it plays out, and then it played out, and then we're gonna add something else. All right, guys, I'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you.